my name is Isabella, and I'm going to do my prose performance. Even more, I had never meant to love him. One thing I truly knew it in the pit of my stomach, in the center of my bones. Knew it from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. Knew it deep in my empty chest. Was how love gave someone the power to break you. You could run from someone you feared. You could try to fight someone you hated. All my reactions were geared toward those kinds of killers. The monsters, the enemies. When you loved the one who was killing you, it left you no options. How could you run? How could you fight when doing so would hurt that beloved one? If your life was all you had to give your beloved, how could you not give it? If there was someone you truly loved, when life offers you a dream so far beyond any of your expectations, it's not reasonable to grieve when it comes to an end. You are the most important thing to me now, the most important thing to me ever. I try to concentrate on the angel's voice instead. Bella, please, Bella, listen to me, please, 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 Bella, please, he begged. Yes, I wanted to say anything, but I couldn't find my lips. Carlyle, the angel called, agony in his perfect voice. Bella, Bella, oh no, please no. And the angel was sobbing, tearless, broken sobs. The angel shouldn't weep, it was wrong. I tried to find him to tell him everything was fine, but the water was so deep. It was pressing on me. I couldn't breathe. It's twilight, the safest time of day for us, the easiest time, but also the saddest in a way. The end of another day, the return of the night. Darkness is so predictable, don't you think? I like the night. Without the dark, we'd never see the stars. Twilight again, he murmured. Another ending. No matter how perfect the day is, it always has to end. Now you know, I said lightly and shrugged. No one's ever loved anyone as much as I love you. Now you know, I said lightly and shrugged. No one's ever loved you as much as I love you. It was going to be the end of the world. Just the end of the Cullens, the end of Edward, the end of me. I preferred it that way. The last part anyway. I would not live without Edward again. If he was leaving this world, then I would be right behind him. Fire and ice somehow existed together without destroying each other. More proof that I belonged with him. It is an extraordinary thing to meet someone you can bear with your soul and accept you for who you are, for what you are. Why? What is she to me, Rosalie? Bella is with Edward. She's part of the family now. We protect our family. I'd never given much thought to how I would die, but knowing that I would die in the place of someone I love seems like a good way to go. I can't bring myself to regret the decision that brought me face to face with death. They also brought me to Edward, and so the lion fell in love with the lamb. What a stupid lamb. What a sick, masochistic lion. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was a part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part may be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. You don't know how long I've waited for you. I'm the world's most dangerous predator, Bella. Everything about me invites you in. My voice, my face, even my smell. As if I would need any of that. As if you could outrun me, as if you could fight me off. I'm designed to kill. He called you pretty, he finally continued, his frown deepening. That's practically an insult. The way you look right now, you're much more than beautiful. The right thing isn't always real obvious. Sometimes the right thing for one person is the wrong for someone else. So good luck figuring that out. When you touched me, it stung my hand as if an electric current had passed through us. Death is peaceful. Life is harder. It is an extraordinary thing to meet someone who you can bare your soul to and accept you for who you are and what you are. Common sense told me I should be terrified. Instead, I was relieved to finally understand. And I was filled with compassion for his suffering, even now as he confessed his craving to take my life. What if I'm not a superhero? What if I'm the bad guy? Love and lust don't always keep the same company. I was consumed by the mystery Edward presented, and more than a little obsessed by Edward himself. It was amazing how instantaneously the choking fear vanished, amazing how suddenly the feeling of security washed over me, even before I was off the street. As soon as I heard his voice, making decisions was the painful part for me, the part I agonized over. But once the decision was made, I simply followed through, usually with relief that the choice was made. Sometimes the relief was tainted by despair, like my decision to come to Forks, but it was still better than wrestling with the alternatives. For some reason, my temper was hardwired to my tear ducts. I usually cried when I was angry, a humiliating tendency. A girl can dream. His eyebrows rose. Is that what you dream about? Being a monster? Not exactly, I said, frowning at his word choice. Monster indeed. Mostly I dreamed about being with you forever. And then as you were sleeping, you said my name. You spoke so clearly, at first I thought you had woken. But you rolled over restlessly and mumbled my name once more, and sighed. The feeling that coursed through me was unnerving, staggering, and I knew I couldn't ignore you any longer. Someone has to spread the good news that we survived. Of course, then, you nearly crushed to death in front of my eyes. Later, I thought of a perfectly good excuse for why I acted at that moment. Because if I hadn't saved you, if your blood had been spilled there in front of me, I don't think I would have stopped myself from exposing us for what we are. But I only thought of that excuse later. At the time, all I could think was, not her. Edward in the sunlight was shocking. I couldn't get used to it. Though I'd been staring at him all afternoon, his skin was white, despite the faint flush from yesterday's hunting trip. Literally sparkled, like thousands of tiny diamonds were embedded in the surface. If leaving is the right thing to do, then I'll hurt myself to keep from hurting you, to keep you safe. I've never tried to keep a specific person alive before. It's much more troublesome than I would have believed. But that's probably just because it's you. Ordinary people seem to make it through the day, without so many catastrophes. I did, only because of wanting you so badly. I still don't know if I can control myself. No measure of time with you will be long enough. But we'll start with forever. I'm only afraid of losing you. I feel like you're gonna disappear. You don't know how long I've waited for you, Isabella Swan. I promise to love you every moment of forever. And that's my prose. Thank you so much.